before then, let's just take a look at some other stories that we're following up for you here this morning. And after campaigning in Marsabit, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto will hold campaigns in Laikipia and Busia counties as part of their estimated 400 campaign stops in 30 counties in the home stretch of the campaign period. Now, the Jubilee Brigade will also make stops in Teso and Kapenguria. In their campaigns in Marsabit County, they called on voters to turn out in large numbers and maintain peace in this election period, even as they touted their development record.
Ni wana Jubilee. Tuwe watu wa frontier, tuwe wa Jubilee, sisi ni kitu kimoja.
Kama wana frontier, tunakuunga mkono. Harambee! Semeni frontier.
Nyinyi wote ni watu wa moja. Mimi ile sitaki kuona ni vijana wetu wakiumia kwa sababu ya siasa.
Marsabit County itapiga kura kwa amani. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Tunakubaliana tutapiga kura ya amani.
All right, so we are following up. It's just 11 days to the general elections. And so we're following up on the last campaigns by both NASA and Jubilee. And we now want to link up with my colleague, Murimi Mwangi, who's following up on Uhuru Kenyatta's campaign tour this Thursday. Murimi, thank you very much for joining us this morning. So with 11 days to the elections, what really has been the message that the president and his deputy has been preaching to the people that he has been meeting over the last couple of days?
Good morning, Betty. Well, with 11 days to the August elections, there are only 9 days of official campaigns. Remember, there's that 48 hours window preceding the elections, and therefore the president has 9 days to sell his agenda. In the past few weeks, he has been giving different messages to different audiences depending on where he is campaigning. Today, he will be here in Laikipia County, specifically here in Nanyuki, before proceeding to Kapenguria and Budalangi, as well as the Teso region in Busia County. But besides that, the messaging of the presidential campaign team has been different depending on what they seek to achieve from the various audiences. Remember yesterday in Marsabit County, the president was launching or commissioning the last stretch of the Isiolo-Moyale Road. And of course, he used that as an illustration of what he says is the delivery of his government, and he's seeking a second term in office. Here in Laikipia County, a headache that faced the president in Marsabit County could also happen here as he campaigns for the presidential vote. Remember, just yesterday there was a clash between the supporters of the two top gubernatorial contenders in Marsabit County, a scenario which might repeat itself even here in Laikipia County, given that there are various candidates contesting various seats, but of course that besides the Jubilee candidates who ideally would be the persons that the president would be campaigning for. In particular, for the senatorial seat here, there's a candidate from Kanu, Maina Njenga, as well as John Kinyua from the Jubilee Party, as well as a headache that might also emerge being on the gubernatorial seat, where the incumbent here is defending that seat on the Jubilee Party ticket, but Ndiritu Mureithi is contesting the same seat as an independent candidate. In the past, whenever the president campaigned in his strongholds in parts of central Kenya, you remember in Nyeri, the president just steered clear of campaigning for anyone, including his own Jubilee Party candidates, and let local speakers be the ones to sell the agenda of the persons that are contesting the seats on the Jubilee Party ticket. But besides that, he will be seeking to consolidate his presidential vote from some of the counties that predominantly voted for him in 2013, one of those counties being Laikipia County, where he got 85% of the presidential vote. The number of registered voters has risen to over 286,000 in this particular county, and therefore the president will have to give a messaging that much as he is seeking the presidential vote, that his message does not in any way seem to disenfranchise the supporters of the individual candidates that are contesting the hotly contested seats here in the county. Betty.
All right, Murimi, let's talk about, the residents, because there was a statement that was released yesterday by State House. And, it's basically talking about the president really, wanting to meet Kenyans and have one-on-one conversations with them. So in this case, Laikipia residents, have you been able to speak to them? And what really is the thing that they're looking for if Uhuru Kenyatta takes the presidency come August 8th?
Well, there are many issues that residents here would want addressed by the president as he comes to campaign here in Laikipia County. This is a county that has been faced by insecurity, banditry, as well as the land question here in Laikipia is a critical one for the president to try and answer. Remember, there have been instances of herders here raiding the, ranches in parts of Laikipia, as well as instances of very prominent persons trying to grab land from the presumed illiterate communities in this particular county. And there has been talk, the back and forth, as to what is the solution to the land question in Laikipia. Remember, the National Super Alliance has campaigned on that platform and used the mention of the TJRC report as one of the templates upon which they would be seeking to solve that problem here in Laikipia County. And residents will also be waiting to hear from the head of state how he is going to be handling that challenge on land, which is a critical one for the residents here in Laikipia County. Besides that, there have been many issues that have affected Kenyans from different walks of life, from different counties, including the escalating cost of living. The president will have some, answering to do to residents here who will be seeking to understand how in the next 5 years, if he is re-elected, he is going to tackle some of these challenges that are facing residents here. Betty.
All right, so back in 2013, the president was able to gain about 85% of the total votes, and, about 90% of the voters came out actually to vote in the presidential election. Do we know if the opposition coalition has been able to make any inroads in Laikipia County?
Well, that's an interesting question, Betty, because wherever you go, you will find that there is talk of the opposition making inroads, Jubilee making inroads into opposition zones. But of course, on particularly the issue of land, the opposition has been trying to make inroads. Besides Laikipia North, where they have a parliamentary seat under ODM, the opposition has been seeking to expand their influence here in Laikipia County by sponsoring candidates for key elective seats from the MCA to the parliamentary seats, and that's happening across a majority of the constituencies here in Laikipia County. Remember, within the corridors of power games, they say that politics is the game of who gets what, when, and how. The question of what they are getting is the presidency. The question of who, we know the top contenders, or the presumed top contenders, are the NASA presidential candidate, Raila Odinga, and Jubilee's President Uhuru Kenyatta. And now the headache that is agonizing the kitchen cabinets of the two political camps is the question of how to get that. Remember, Jubilee has been insisting that they want to win the presidency at round one. The opposition has been saying that they have 10 million strong of the, over 19 million registered voters. And therefore, judging from that, each of the two coalitions are seeking a first round win, that of course by getting more than 50+1. But for the opposition, they have a plan B, which of course would be to prevent Jubilee from scooping the over 50% of the votes cast, and part of their strategy is to continue trying to make inroads into presumed Jubilee strongholds. That is a strategy to have a fighting chance in the event that they manage to block Jubilee from getting the 50+1 and of course force a runoff. Betty.
All right, thank you very much, Murimi Mwangi. They're reporting from Laikipia County, and he's talking to